Alright, what is going on, guys? Gino checking back in for another video today. It is currently 9:27 AM and it's the 7th of August. Currently getting some breakfast in, which is, you already know. The bowl of cream of wheat with 100 grams of cream. Oh no, wait, 120 grams of cream of wheat, because, you know, carbs are life. 40 grams of whey, 20 grams of cacao powder, 2 bananas, 20 grams of cashew peanut butter, and a little bit of Himalayan salt. The legendary Nutella sandwich, add some morning coffee, add some water to get hydrated. Alright, so first of all I would like to thank everyone for the positive feedback on the start of the series. Well, it actually already started like after my show was done, but like I said in the previous video, I didn't really make it official, so I would like to thank everyone for the positive feedback in the comments. I really do appreciate it. So I wanted to cover some things that I haven't really covered after my show, like for example when my next show will actually be, since I kind of got the taste for it, not gonna lie. I really enjoyed stepping on stage and just enjoying my time there, doing the posing, and especially the way leading up to the show, you know, the entire prep. It's something that I really truly got a lot of satisfaction from, so I will definitely do it again in the future. But there are a lot of things you have to take into consideration before you actually decide to step on stage again and you know, start a prep in the first place. Let me actually turn this fan off. Yeah, that's better. So since I am natural, it's not in my best interest to compete year after year, simply because getting to severely low levels of body fat isn't healthy. Your hormones go to shit. There are a lot of negative hormonal adaptations and lower metabolic adaptations, obviously, that take a toll on your overall health if you do it every year for the entire year. So that is something that I'm truly personally not interested in, despite the fact that I freaking love the process and I love the entire experience of competing. I'm also keeping it realistic. If I were to want to compete in the same show next year, that will be in April then, I think, that would only leave me with an off season of around 6 or 7 months. Again, since I'm natural, that would not leave me with enough time to actually make adequate enough improvements to look better the next year on stage. And since that should be the goal, at least in my opinion, to look better on stage the next time that you want to step on stage, it wouldn't be a smart idea for me to compete in the same show the next year. So I'm taking my sweet ass time to actually make some visual good improvements on my physique.
Ik heb geen overeenkomstige locaties gevonden.
You ever get that? That Siri, like, yeah. So the next time that I will be stepping on stage will probably be late 2020, so at the end of 2020, or even 2021. Again, especially if you're natural and you want to make some adequate enough improvements to your physique that you actually see on stage, or when you try to lean down again, you need to take your sweet ass time. So I'm taking at least a year of building my physique and staying in the off season / lean bulking season to make some adequate enough improvements, and then I'll decide, man, if I'm in a good enough state to start a prep again, then I will obviously do that. Because like I said, I would love to do a show in late 2020. But if that's not a possibility, or if there's not even a show or a good show at that time period, I would like to take my time and start in 2021. So 2021 is probably even a set year already, so that makes it kind of official. But again, I'm taking my sweet ass time to make enough improvements. So besides that, I'm actually also a year older now. The 3rd of August was my birthday, so I'm now officially 23 years of age, and I kind of wanted to reflect on that, simply because I am a very reflective person. Maybe even go over some things that you might be able to take away from it. So my 22nd year of age was actually a pretty damn good year. And in terms of self-development and things that I wanted to accomplish, it's probably one of my most successful years to date. So I'm personally someone that every year that I get older, I like to set new goals. I like to aim for new highs that I'm striving to achieve as I get a year older. So now that I'm 23, I want to accomplish more things that I did when I was the age of 22. So at the age of 22, I stepped on stage for the first time ever, and I actually set that goal for myself, which was always something that I put off for later, simply because I thought that I wasn't old enough to prep for so long and get to such low levels of body fat. And I don't have any regrets of that decision, because I needed to take my sweet ass time to present something nice to the stage. Again, that whole entire experience taught me so much in terms of what hard work actually is, and taught me a lot about myself as a person. So besides the fact that I stepped on stage, I got a lot more into self-development, reading a lot more books, And it's very interesting because I always said to myself when I was younger, even though I'm still pretty young, but still, I always said to myself, like, I'm never going to be reading books. I hated reading books in school, absolutely despised books when I was in school. So I always said to myself, like, I'm not going to read books when I'm older. I'm never going to be even touching a book or looking at a book. And then I look at my bookshelf right here, and I'm already seeing like 7 books in my bookshelf. So I guess I was lying to myself. And I personally think that you should always strive to improve yourself in whatever aspect it may be. So if you're really into, for example, fitness, try to dig up as much information, soak up as much information as possible, and develop yourself in that to become the best version of yourself in that aspect. So I'm an online coach, I am a personal trainer, so I like to develop myself in that aspect as much as possible, soak up as much information as possible so that I can deliver that to my clients as best as possible. If I were to just sit on my ass and do my job, then of course, you know, it does the job, but I would like to give as much value to my clients and to you guys here on the channel as well as possible. So it's best for you, it's best for me personally, and I think that most of you should do that as well. It's also the year that I stepped out of my comfort zone as much as possible, especially when I was even younger. I was a very insecure kid, very self-conscious about a lot of things, and especially in social situations, you know. I always used to naturally be a very introvert person. I hated social events, hated going to very crowded places, simply because I didn't really know how to act, and by developing myself more in that aspect, I got so much more out of life. I came across so much more opportunities, especially in the field of work that I am in, and I contribute a lot of that to simply grabbing a book, reading it, and trying to apply more things, learning more about myself to better myself as a person. If you're not improving, you're literally standing still. And if you're standing still, you're not going to be moving anywhere, you're not going to be reaching goals, you're simply staying in your own little bubble. And of course, it's comfortable, you're not stressed, you're basically just in chill mode, but eventually you have to think to yourself, like, what are the things that I want to achieve? Am I doing things that are going to be helping me to get to those things, to reach those goals? Or am I just going to be laying in bed, sitting on my ass and, you know, not moving anywhere, not moving forward? It's actually very important to think about those things, especially if you want to make a good life for yourself and want to make a name for yourself. You need to do things that make you feel uncomfortable. So that's just a quick little summary of the things that I learned as of the age of 22, especially now that I'm 23. I'm going to be doing my best to make this the best year again, as I say for every single year that I get older. So without further ado, I'm actually going to go to the gym right now to hit a lower body session. So I'll see you guys at the gym. Alright, what's going on everybody? You're looking at my lower body one workout of the week, which is my squat focused workout, and I wanted to kind of go over the differences between a high bar squat and a low bar squat, since I've gotten a lot of questions from you guys going over, are there any potential differences between muscular activation of either the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes and the lower back between the two squat variants. So first and foremost, you should always pick the squatting positioning, the squat bar positioning or the movement pattern that you feel the most comfortable with, that you're the strongest in, and that you can make the most progression with in terms of overload. So if you are strongest with a close stance, high bar squatting positioning, then by all means just go for that squatting option, because you can make the most amount of progression with that squat movement, squat positioning. And vice versa, if you're the strongest with a low bar positioning and a wider stance, just opt for that, since you can make the most amount of progression and overload the exercise the most. When you look at the biomechanics of both of those two movements, so a low bar squat and a high bar squat, you're both utilizing the hips and the knees to make the movement possible. So with both of those variants, you're putting emphasis on the quads, but you're likely putting a little bit more of a emphasis again on a certain part of the lower body musculature. So with a high bar, yeah, you get a little bit more quad activation, and with a low bar, you're getting a little bit more posterior chain activation, but the same principles still apply. You are putting tension on the lower body musculature. You're still targeting the quads, whether you squat high bar or low bar. So then the principle just comes to mind, what positioning, what movement pattern are you most comfortable with, and in which position are you the strongest. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to how much you can overload the exercise. So if you feel like high bar squats are not made for you and you don't really feel comfortable with the exercise and you cannot really make that much progression with it, then by all means just go for a low bar positioning if that's more comfortable for you, and vice versa. If you think low bar is really cool and you see all those guys squatting like hundreds of pounds with a low bar positioning, since you are most likely a little bit stronger in that positioning for some people. Now, for me, for example, I am stronger with a closer stance and a high bar squatting positioning compared to a low bar positioning where I feel really uncomfortable and not really that strong. So again, you should choose the squatting positioning that makes you feel the strongest and gets you out of the hole of the squat as efficiently as possible. Even though you might think that one certain squatting positioning or execution looks very cool, it all comes down to your personal preference and the movement pattern that allows you to squat the most comfortably and efficiently. So yeah, there are some differences in muscular activation. So like I said, with the high bar squat, you're getting a little bit more forward knee travel, which can translate into a little bit more quad simulation and activation, but does it outweigh the potential negative outcomes of performing a exercise in a way that doesn't really feel comfortable for you and does not allow you to make more progress? So choose the movement pattern with the specific exercise that feels most comfortable for you and allows you to make the most progression if you want to see the most amount of growth. And this pretty much goes for all exercises as well. You know, if you feel very uncomfortable with a wide grip bench press or a sumo deadlift, for example, then just for the bench press go with a smaller grip, and for the deadlift perhaps even try a conventional deadlift or a stiff-legged deadlift. The particular exercise that you're performing doesn't really matter as long as you're able to overload the exercise as efficiently and comfortably as possible. Alright, what's going on guys? It's the next day and I didn't really film anything as of the past like couple of days, but a weekend ago Romy and I went to a sports hotel for our 4-year anniversary, and I managed to film a couple of clips on Romy's iPhone.
Since I left my SD card in my laptop, I took my camera with me, so I wasn't really able to record anything, but
here are a couple of clips from our weekend in Hotel Hub. Nice little quote here on the bedroom wall, or the hotel room wall. So keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. Perfect. Nice little bed right here. 2 loose beds, but of course we're sleeping together. I'm definitely gonna zoom in on your head when I'm editing this. If you want to be like Kobe, just throw it in the basketball net. A hanging mirror right here. All in all, I just love the fact that it has so many different colors. Like, it's not so boring as a normal hotel room.
Ik kan echt helemaal niks met jou. Demon child.
Alright, and that is all for this video guys. I sincerely hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to smash the like button because it really helps out the channel grow. Comment down below and subscribe to the channel for so much more content coming really soon. I'm out guys, and peace out. See you in the next one.